the break, Angus, about you going to different churches. He was on a journey. He started searching. You had an experience, kind of God talking to you through your friends, and there was kind of a void in your life. I believe that, you know, all of us have kind of a God-shaped void until it's filled by God. And you were visiting churches. I mean, you learned stuff in Christian schools. You were kind of looking for God, and you started visiting a bunch of churches on Sunday. You said you'd go to how many on a Sunday?
Yeah, I would sometimes go to maybe 4 or 5 churches. Like really,
you hit every service.
Yeah, I would go to separate because because I was going to a Christian school. I had quite a few friends that regularly went to church on Sunday, which is something that I had never gone. Like maybe our family would go for Easter, but other than that, so I was going to a bunch of different churches, and I was really enjoying it. There was a few churches that I really liked, and there was some good messages. All the messages like definitely were helping me, and it was just but it wasn't. I never really went to the church that was like, yeah, this is the people that I want to come to every week.
Where you felt at home.
Yeah, I didn't. I was doing a lot of learning, but not much like I wasn't anywhere I wanted to stay, and so I was going to churches, and I listened to this teacher named Ray Vanderlaan, who I guess he's based out of Michigan, and he is phenomenal teacher that looks at historical, cultural context of Scripture. And I was listening, and in one of his tapes he mentions the very, and maybe not even so old, but just the really traditional and the really devoted Jewish people, especially during the times when they didn't have Bibles to just throw away. When they had one Bible for the town. During that time when they would bring the Bible out, people would be, just when they would bring the Torah out, just and they would be so excited because the word, sacred, yeah. They would be so thrilled to just be, the fact that the words were on the paper was just like, this woman, he talked about women that would cry just because, and like people would, so I was looking for, I don't know, a church with just like a lot of fire, a lot of
passion, energy.
Yeah, and so a friend of mine had told me, and this friend was, now that I look back, he was always the friend that couldn't go out on Friday nights and couldn't really do anything until Saturday night, and like it was just always we always kind of gave him a hard time because he never explained to us the reason for that.
Was he a Seventh-day Adventist?
He was. And so, or his family was. I don't know how much he was into it, but because he never talked to us about it. Which I call him now and I give him a hard time because I'm like, man, like what were you doing, not telling us? And his friend had gone to a church that he said that he really liked that was kind of down the road from my house, and that church was Valley Crossroads, and
it's in Pacoima, California.
Yeah, in Pacoima, and the first time I went there, I went there by myself a whole bunch of times before I started like having the opportunity to bring people, because like the first time I went there I wanted to bring everyone, but I went there and the message that the pastor was preaching was like tailored, like it was my message. It was
for you.
It was the situation I was in, the answer to the situation I was in. It was everything. He even said at one point, I'm speaking to someone right now. So and so it was. You're
like, hey, that's me.
Yeah, exactly. It was just one of those moments
that's a turning point moment. Walking into that church,
Walking into that church, it was like right along with all those conversations I had. It was just like, yes, this is it. This is my church. And so I continued. I went to that church a whole bunch, and for like maybe about a month or so. And at the same time, every now and then I go to visit with my friends at their churches. Then another important moment. One day I was supposed to be going with my dad to work, and it just happened that I think he was leaving at like 4 a.m, and I decided not to go. And that day at like maybe 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock-ish, the Bible worker from Valley Crossroads knocked on the door and asked if I want a Bible study, and I was like, yeah, sure.
And his name is Brother Nelson?
Yeah,
okay.
Nelson Jones. and on my same last name, so you know. So we had Bible studies, and he started.
He showed up unannounced, knocked on your door, and said, "Do you want a Bible study?"
Yeah, totally. It was a surprise, and like if I had gone to work with my dad, it would have happened later, or who knows. But it just happened that I didn't, and so he started showing me things in the Bible, and we did several Bible studies, and he was just like, he was going over things that the Seventh-day Adventists know very confidently, and I was just like, wow, this makes so much more sense. This seems so much more like God than a lot of the messages that I've been learning for 12 years in Christian school. And I not to say anything bad about my Christian school, I loved going there, and I learned. I'm extremely thankful for the base knowledge that I have on just stories and concepts, and and then also I get a perspective coming from that. It's not, I'm sure that it's different for people that grow up in the Adventist church, having never known what the full truth was, and just.
You're like learning it for the first time. Oh, you're learning all this. It's like you're soaking it up.
I totally am, and I felt like I'm probably learned. I 100% I've learned more about God and experienced God phenomenally more than I have in my entire life just over the last few months.
Wow.
And
when did you make your decision for baptism? Because you did get baptized
Yeah,
recently.
it happened that my dad's sisters were in town for my graduation.
From high school.
And I think my grandpa, family members were in town. And my graduation from high school was kind of happened. It happened that people were coming in for my graduation, and at the same time there was this kind of a revival, kind of a meeting going on at the church where Helvius Thompson was speaking. I think he's from maybe Houston, Texas, and he was speaking, and so we had like services every night, I think it was. And so it was a Friday night, and the next Saturday was my graduation. And Friday night, it was basically everything had lined up to where I was able to get baptized that night.
Did your family come and watch you get baptized?
Yeah, I invited everyone that I could think to invite, and the people that I forgot, I felt so bad that I didn't invite them, because it's one of those things that I feel like it's a powerful thing,
a pivotal moment,
especially since people that know me entire life and even go to Christian school come and see me get baptized. I don't know, like it was powerful. It was a powerful time, and a friend of mine who I had met maybe a few months before got baptized with me, and it happened kind of. He didn't know that I was getting baptized, and he made his stand like a couple weeks before, or a week before maybe, and then we got baptized on the same night, and that was really really awesome. It was just really interesting because I had met him only, like honestly, like maybe a few months before, and he was same kind of situation, hungry for the truth and wanting to live the right way and do it right, and so it was awesome, an awesome experience.
And now you're actually, I mean, I hear you go to prayer meeting, you have a evangelism group you go to on Thursday nights. Yeah,
Mondays and Thursdays I am a part of End Times Like These ministries.
Right, and Denise Johnson, who works at the Voice of Prophecy, and she and her husband have this ministry where they actually do it Monday and Thursday nights. They do training.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly. It's not necessarily the class that we're going through right now is like we started it like a month ago, and it goes for about 2 months. And after we have an internship at a church, but they offer online courses that you can just take by mail. He says that he has people all over the United States taking his class. They're getting it translated into Spanish so that Spanish people can take it, and they're getting it put online so you can take it 100% online.
Wow.
And God is really using their ministry powerful, and I am loving the class. It's so much fun.
Now I hear that you're learning to give Bible studies.
Yeah, I'm learning how to give Bible studies. I'm learning the door-to-door stuff. I'm learning lay evangelism. I'm learning
and you like this stuff.
Oh, it's like
okay, so you're going to be like Brother Nelson, and you're going to go knock on people's doors and give Bible studies.
If I can get to Brother Nelson's level, then I will, of course, praise God all the way. But maybe me and him just be a team.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm always, because he's gonna have so much more. He's got a little bit of a time advantage on me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm learning how to get Bible studies. I'm learning.
You know, in the few minutes we have left, Angus, I want to ask you something, because you have a sphere of influence. You know, I know that you consider the show that you've been on all these years, that was your work. You know, you did that at work.
Yeah.
You now have an opportunity to actually kind of be a witness to people that some of us would never have the opportunity to even, you know, speak to or rub shoulders with. So I think God has placed you in a unique place at a unique time in your life. And how do you see yourself actually witnessing? I can't see you taking a Bible onto the set and saying, can I give you a Bible study? But I think people are going to notice a change in you and ask you questions about God.
Absolutely.
What's happening in that regard?
And it's already, you know, God's already been moving. He's already been preparing people, and basically I'm not the same person. And
do people notice that?
I'm sure they do, and the people have been coming up to me asking me what I've been doing in my spare time, what's been going on, and you know, if people ask me what I've been doing in my spare time, because I'm not in school, so I don't have to spend time on set, so it's a lot different being on set and not having to spend time devoted to, you know, curriculum. So people ask me, I'm like, oh, you know, I'm doing a lot of work for my church, taking an evangelism class. We're like, oh, what's that? So it's you know, God is definitely using it, and a few people from work have come to church, and I'm confident that I am there for a reason, for one more year, because otherwise, if I don't think I would be on the show this year if God hadn't kind of pushed me into it, because otherwise I genuinely didn't want to do another year of the show. And so you know, I'm there for a reason. I'm so thankful to be there. It's a lot of fun, and I'm hoping that God will get the glory out of it.
God will get the glory, Angus. And before we close, why don't you share a couple of your favorite texts with us?
Yeah, absolutely.
That'd be great.
Yeah. One of the ones I was learning, because I try and do a memory verse maybe not every so often, but like as soon as I memorize one, I move on to the next one. And the one I did a couple weeks ago was Romans 11:33 through 34, which is, "Oh, the depths of the riches, both of the wisdom and knowledge of God! How unsearchable are his judgments, and his ways past finding out! For who hath known the mind of the Lord, or who hath been his counselor?" And I like that one, because we can sometimes get caught up in trying to analyze things and trying to figure stuff out and trying to be like, all right, so God says this and God says that, and so this is how I'm gonna make a decision. This is how I'm gonna talk to this person. And you know, I think we can run into some trouble sometimes with that, because we're not to live by sight. We're to live by faith. And God is going to do the work no matter what. We're inevitably going to get in the way. So we got to, you know, just read this, and show people what we're reading, because that's really what's going to make a difference in people's lives.
Do you feel that there might be some, in your future, you're 19 years old now, I can see you as a preacher, a powerful preacher for the Lord.
Whatever God has me do, you know, I'm there 100%. I don't know what his plans are, and I always say, if I knew what the plans were, I'd probably mess them up. So I'm just trying to stay in the middle, and you know, Michael Johnson always uses the term, I'm going to stay in my lane.
Stay in your lane,
yeah.
and let God use you in your lane.
Yeah.
There might be somebody listening now that really identifies with you. They've maybe watched you grow up, maybe they're your age. Look at the camera and just appeal to them to maybe make a decision for Jesus.
What I have to say to anyone that's kind of in the middle ground right now, and then in the valley of decision, as some people put it, I would have to say that you really, and this is one thing that the pastor's been teaching on lately, is you can learn about God. You can learn about God all you want. There's people that study theology all the time. You can learn everything about, you can you can figure out the for sure thing, like, did this person really exist? How did this happen? If the scientists say this, then how could this? You can learn about it all you want, but this Bible and this God is the truth, and you're not going to know for sure until you just throw yourself 100% into it and start experiencing it and applying the truth to your life, because Jesus said he is the way, the truth, and the life. And you know, I can testify to the fact that this is the life. There's honestly, my life before this was there's no life. And I'm just I say that it's the greatest feeling ever to not have to worry about a thing, not knowing that you're going to be taken care of, and the things of this world don't matter whatsoever. So you just got to be in God, so that he can use you to bring people to him, because that's really what it's all about at the end of the day, is making people know God the way you know them. Because I know from my personal life, I want everyone to know how awesome he is and how comforting it is to be a part of his kingdom work, and eventually one day get to see him in person.
Amen. Thank you, Angus, so much for being with us and sharing your testimony. And thank you for joining us on Turning Point.